Hello, I am Mallika Shekhar, a haematologist in London, UK. Welcome to my podcast series called The Bitter Pill that looks at lessons that we doctors may learn from history. This podcast is called Testing Times. It lasts about 30 minutes. Testing times. In 1984, tests for HIV were being developed. The pace was hectic. Who would develop a good test first, and whose would be best? How can we get our samples, our patients, tested ASAP? In this podcast, we explore a third aspect. What do we do with the results? Once tests were available, there was a flurry of activity to use them in people with haemophilia. Doctors sent off their patients' samples to be tested. Many hospitals had banked samples, so they were stored samples frozen after routine clinical tests. These samples were batched and sent off, and at that time point, the patients weren't consented. We will look at this question as it unfolded in Scotland. In Scotland at that time, there was confidence that their factor concentrates were safe from HIV transmission. This was because they were largely self-sufficient in producing concentrates and they didn't rely on imported products from USA. Also, Scottish haemophilia centres were closely networked with their blood service and their government. This likely influenced their ethos and their responses. These responses are instructive. In autumn 84, unexpected results arrive. About 15% of their patients test positive. This podcast explores their response. What happens when you get unexpected results and want to action it? What are the clinical and ethical implications of this? The material for this podcast is extracted from the YouTube recordings of the current UK infected blood inquiry. We'll hear extracts of evidence provided under oath from two doctors, Professor Chris Ludlam from Edinburgh and Professor Gordon Low from Glasgow. The inquiry's examination of practice in Scotland began on the 1st of December 2020, World AIDS Day.